Liberty Nation with Tim Donner.
We start with a view from ground level of an inaugural like no other, one which may come to be known as the National Guard inauguration. We spoke with Scott Cosenza, LibertyNation.com's man on the ground, covering what little anyone was allowed to cover in Washington, D.C., as Inauguration Day was winding down. Hello, Scott.
Hello, Tim.
Well, let's just let you paint a word picture for us of what it was like in D.C. for one of the most unusual inaugurations in American history.
Tim, I got into town on the night before the inauguration, and as I do when I work live events, what I typically like to do is get checked into the hotel and then go and take a look around where I might be shooting video or still photos and just talk to people in the area, whatever kind of demonstration it might be. I was shocked beyond words at how locked down the entire central part of the U.S. Capitol city was. The entire National Mall and many blocks surrounding the mall were not only restricted from vehicular traffic, which is what I expected when they said all the number streets would be closed. That was widely reported in our local, traffic updates. But what I never thought was that meant to pedestrian traffic as well. I just never even considered it. I've never seen the city more locked down than this. I've been here about a dozen years or so. I've talked to some other people who have been here a lot longer than that, and they also have never seen anything like it. I have to tell you, just the most stark presentation of it, Tim, was right across from Union Station, which was closed to the public, across Massachusetts Avenue. I mean right on the street is a steel blockade fence with razor wire atop it. Pretty stark.
Give us a sense of what kind of mood, to the extent that you could get the pulse of Washington, D.C. for the inauguration, which is, something that only happens every 4 years, and a new president doesn't always come in every 4 years. So it's usually a big event. Was there anything you can describe as a mood on the ground?
There were plenty of people around, just not the throngs of both pro-Biden or anti-Biden or pro-Trump or anti-Trump people that we typically see recently with events in the Capitol.
Give us what kind of local color you were able to soak in your limited exposure, since you were kept at, such a large perimeter.
Well, the other thing that sort of you have to bring to bear is the COVID crisis and what that means for sort of hotel life. So the hotel is a combination of sort of like medical, looks like medical ward with everybody with their masks on who don't want any close contact. And then there are a number of groups of mostly media types that are staying here that are kind of, gaggled together in different pockets.
So then let's conclude this by asking you what the experience was like compared to what you expected. You had to go there with a certain expectation of what you'd see. How did what you actually saw compare to your expectation?
The President of the United States takes the oath of office on the western-facing steps of the Capitol. I was shocked, Tim, that the nearest point by which a journalist who hadn't submitted weeks, if not months ago, a credentials request to the inaugural committee, that they would have to stand over 2 miles away to be in line of sight of that happening. The peaceful transfer of power was invisible by the naked human eye, except for those people handpicked by the committee. So I would say that I was both shocked that was the case. I would have expected in an enhanced security environment to perhaps be required to go through a security checkpoint to be able to be closer to the goings on, but to have them completely removed from public sight, it seemed un-American to me, Tim. What can I say?
Okay, so Scott, any other thoughts before we let you go?
Well, Tim, I know we have been critical of Joseph R. Biden on the pages of LibertyNation.com in the past, and I expect we'll see more criticism in the future, but none will be more troubling than what I'm about to reveal, which is that Joe Biden thinks that Garth Brooks was the favorite choice to perform perhaps the greatest Negro spiritual ever sung, Amazing Grace. And that's judgment that I just can't abide.
What better note to conclude on than that? Thank you, Scott.
Thanks, Tim.
Hi, I'm Lisa K. Donner, along with Mark Angelides, Sarah Cowgill, Tim Donner, and Scott Cosenza, and this is Liberty
Now let's take a look at the LibertyNation.com electoral leaderboard. It's still 238 for Joe Biden.
What if stories and legends can offer us the key to unraveling the hottest political issues of the day and apply their lessons to understanding the chaos of modern politics?
Impeach 45!
Only where freedom of speech is honored can people who look, sound, or think differently be truly free.
If you're discussing something that's difficult, the probability that you're not going to offend each other is zero.
President-elect of the United States of America, Donald Trump.
Donald J. Trump is now president.
With one click, Liberty Nation delivers tomorrow's news
And remember, liberty.
today.
All the time and everywhere.
LibertyNation.com.